Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robert Shane, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to install and use Dream Textures for Blender, which is an AI that can generate textures from a text prompt. Advancements in AI are happening at a breakneck pace. From text to image, to text to screenplay, to text to point clouds, AI seems to be just about everywhere these days. Even the images I used in my last video were AI generated. One great thing about Blender is that it's open source, which means that anybody can add to it, and somebody has been generous enough and talented enough to add a text to image AI called Dream Textures. Alright, so to begin, start off by going to this website. There's a link to it in the description. Then download the version that applies to your computer. I'm on a Windows machine, so I'm going to click Windows, and then you have to select which GPU you're using. I'm using an NVIDIA GPU, so I would select this, but if you were using an AMD, you would select this one. I'm not going to go over this one since I don't have an AMD. So in our case, I'm going to select Dream Textures for Windows CUDA, and I'm just going to save this to the downloads folder. Alright, now once it's finished downloading, it'll download as a .7z file, which is a .7zip file. So if you don't have 7-zip, you're going to need to download that. There's a link to it right on this page. I've left the link to it in the description as well. That'll take you to this page. I'm on a 64-bit Windows machine, so I'm going to grab the one that says 64-bit right here. I think this web page changes based on what operating system you're using, so just pay attention to what you're doing and make sure you grab the right one. Go ahead and download the one that you need and then open it and click yes. I'm just going to keep the destination folder the same and then click install, and that's it. Click close. All right, once that's done, open up your file explorer and go to where you saved the Dream Textures file. Right click it. If you're on Windows 10, you should see a thing that says 7-zip. I'm on Windows 11, so I have to go to show more options, and now you should see a 7-zip option, and then just click extract here. Wait for that to extract, and it will extract it as a zip folder. Now you don't want to extract this because Blender will read this. If you extracted it, Blender wouldn't be able to read it. So at this point, we can go over to Blender now, and to install it, go up to Edit, Preferences. Make sure you click on Add-ons, Install up in the top right corner, and now just go over to the Downloads folder and select it and then install the add-on. It should take a little bit because it's a fairly large file. At the time of this recording, it's about 4 gigabytes and something. In the future, it might be a little bigger. Now, don't close this window just yet. Once it's done, you should see this text field populated with Dream Textures. If it's not, go ahead and type it in, and then it should appear here. Click Enabled. That'll turn it on, but we're not done yet, so don't leave. Click this little triangle to expand it, and then scroll down to where it says Find Models. You need to search for a model. I've left a list of them in the description. You can just copy and paste them into this search box. A model will change the quality of the results. There are many different models, but I left only the best in the description. Some are good for text to image, some are good for inpainting or outpainting. I'm going to install the one that's recommended for texture generation. So I'm just going to type in Stable Diffusion 2-1. So you would select it from this list and then click download. I've already downloaded it, so I'm not going to do it again, but that's how you would do it. Quick side note, the one that's recommended for inpainting is also recommended for outpainting. They're the same model. Just thought you should know that. All right, at this point, we can actually start generating textures. So close out the preferences, go over to the shading tab, and then press N to bring up the side panel. Down here at the bottom, you should see a tab called Dream. Click on that. There are a bunch of settings here. I'll go over them more in depth in a future video, but for now, let's select the model. I'm going to select this first one. This is the one that's good for texture generation. And over here where it says prompt, the default is texture, but you also have one for photography, one for concept art, that sort of thing. The subject, that's what's going to get generated. So for our example, I'm going to type in brick. There's a little checkbox here that can make it seamless. If you decide to check it, you can decide which axis you want to be seamless. So the x-axis, the y-axis, or both. I think a brick texture should be seamless on both, so I'm going to choose both. If you don't want something in your image, you can click negative and then type a list of things you don't want. For example, if you want an image of a Jaguar, the car, you would type Jaguar in the subject, but then in the negative, you could type in cat, fur, anything dealing with the cat. That should give you more car-like results and less cat-like results. At least that's how it should work in theory. I don't think it's too great at the moment, but you know, this technology is pretty new, but I think it'll get there at some point. They recommend keeping the image size to 512 by 512 since that's what the AI model was trained on. Source image is for when you want to do inpainting. I'm not going to do that in this video, but that's where you would start that process. And then under advanced, there's a few things in here you need to know. Every time you generate an image, it's going to automatically assign it a random seed, and the file name will be the random seed, which you can use later in case you want to like upscale it or do it again at a different quality, which I'm actually going to show you here in a second. Steps, that's what determines the quality. 25 is good as a preview, but if you're going to do a final one, I'd bump that up considerably, maybe to like 200 or more. Really, that's all you need to set, and then just click generate and give it a few seconds, and you'll see it start to do some magic over here on the side. kind of brickish. It's not perfect, but it's something. And we can do something like this. And you see that it is indeed seamless. And this number, this is the seed value. So one thing we could do, say we liked it, but we just didn't like how low quality it was. So we can turn off random seed, paste this in here, which is it already fills in with the last one. Then we could bump this up to like, say 200 and then generate it again. It's going to do a lot more steps. It's going to take a lot longer to do, but the quality should be a little bit better. It doesn't work perfectly all the time. You would think it would just maybe clean up some of these dots and maybe make the lines straighter. But sometimes it can make like a brand new image. That actually looks worse, I think. I don't know if that's just like a setting that I'm not doing right. It's almost like it's feeding in this image and just trying to upscale it, but it ends up looking funny since it doesn't know what it's doing, I guess. Well, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one and take care.